Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a new episode of Eve Echoes. Tonight on the show, we are going to take a look at how the map works, how you can get around New Eden using the map system, and most importantly, a cry for help, because the map really requires more features. The map currently in Eve Echoes is very limited, has very few options and very few filters, and sometimes the search isn't working properly. Before we get into our video for today, please throw in a like and a subscribe if you like what we're doing here on the channel, and remember, if you want to help me keep this channel alive and support me, there's a YouTube channel membership. You can donate something as small as $2 a month. Thank you very much. So, on with our subject for today. Well, navigating around New Eden is, let's say, tedious sometimes. It's very easy to go from point A to point B. You just set your destination and you can engage the autopilot, or you can just iterate through the jumps one by navigating through your overview and selecting the next jump, highlighted jump gate, and warping to it, jumping, and so on. Now, the importance of the map is, let's say, very big in general terms. It should offer a perspective about how New Eden is arranged, where exactly are the factions, and how exactly you can actually reach that destination with little effort as possible. Now, for the purpose of this video, we're going to just go ahead and switch to New Eden. This is the entire New Eden map. Unfortunately, it's all flattened. You have no 3D perspective, and it's pretty easy to navigate as opposed to its counterpart in EVE Online, where you had to either flatten it or you could just use the 3D environment. So here it's pretty simple laid out, flattened map, no argument there. One interesting feature that has yet to be added is like the information for each region. For example, if we click on a region, let's say Great Wildlands, and we click on that name right here highlighted in the bottom right corner, feature not yet available, coming soon. We do hope it'll come soon because it may offer some information regarding lore, or at least the favorite pirate NPCs that can be found in that region. Currently we have to rely on maps that have been created by the player base. You can find them either on Facebook or on Reddit or some other various groups that you're a member of, and just orientate yourself from there. You can navigate towards a region itself just by clicking that region and going to the region map. It's the second button lower right screen. Click on that, you'll get the region flattened out with its systems, but you'll not see the system names yet. What you are seeing right now, it's the labels for each constellation. So every region is split into several constellations, and each constellation has several stars. For example, if we tap on Eildolf right here, you can see all the systems inside that constellation. So how do you navigate from where you are to, let's say, this system right here? Let's call it Skarken. Okay. Right now, we are inside the Skarken system. Having it selected, we can either hit the avoid button, which, in case we set the autopilot and the route takes us through there, it will try to find alternate routes. And we can click on this system and it should pop up an information panel. Again, this is not something in the game, unfortunately, but we do hope it's going to come soon. If we go to solar system, the map will dive even deeper, showing you a solar system representation of a flattened, representation of the solar system. And you can see here you've got some stuff overlapped, and they will show up as multiple dots overlapping. Unfortunately, this is very hard to navigate, and if you can see, the sensitivity on rotating is pretty bad, and you have no option of let's say, panning out the camera, let's say, to focus on this specific area in the left side of the screen, you can just rotate it. And given the fact that some of the stuff are really focused right here in the middle, the only way to show them properly is to zoom in. Now, you can't say the same thing about the stuff sitting in the outer rings. If there's stuff overlapping or the stuff cramped up together there, you cannot go over that, and tapping does nothing, and you cannot zoom in on the rings themselves, only like this, which is, oh my god, it's really jittery, and I would not recommend. Either way, you'll probably not spend too much time in the solar system view. So let's get over back to the constellation. So how do you navigate to said system? Well, you can basically just click on the system, and you can choose the third button right here. It's called Set as Destination. Once you tap on that, you will see that the autopilot menu in the top left corner has lit up. And you can also see on the map a route. Now, if we go to the New Eden, you can actually see the regions you are about to travel through. So we're going to go from the main to the Bleak Lands to Heimatar and then Malden Heath. Switching over to the autopilot menu, or tapping this in the top left corner, you'll basically see a route that has been selected based on your preferences. Now, the preferences have two sets of options. There's the route option, which basically tells your autopilot what kind of route to take. So if I'm going to, let's say, avoid everything below 0.5 security space, which is low sec or null sec, I would pick prefer safer. And now my route changed completely to avoid going through systems that have a security lower than 0.5. As you can see, if we exit this, the regions themselves have changed because the route going through Bleak Lands, Heimatar, and then Malden Heath had some systems that were either low sec or null sec. Now we're just going through the main, the Citadel, which is Kaldari space, and then the Forge, which is still Kaldari space, then Metropolis, and then Malden Heath. So this was the first set of options. The other selectable option inside the route, you can either choose prefer shorter or prefer less safe. Now, prefer less safe is not actually a thing right now in EVE Echoes. Just as a comparison, in EVE Online, if you are a pirate and you're doing a lot of combat in low sec, then your security status is going to drop. Security status is basically your character's, let's say, wanted level. So if you go a certain point below security level, if you enter high sec or empire space, well, the NPCs, the police NPCs, are basically gonna chase you around, and if they catch you, you're pretty much dead. You can still move around, of course, with your pod or with an agile ship, but this is EVE Online mechanics. Right now in EVE Echoes, we do not have security level, and there's pretty much no reason as to why you should avoid high security space. It's actually recommended to go through high security space, especially considering the fact that gate camps are now a thing, and there's people gate camping everywhere, and some of them have found a way to deal with those low sec the gate turrets, and they're pretty much camping effectively, which I don't know if it's a bug or if it's an exploit. It's still something that the devs are currently debating, if I'm not mistaken. We'll probably see an announcement soon, or maybe a fix on that, but that's a story for another video. So prefer less safe is pretty much useless for now. Prefer shorter is something that you can take if you do not like to go on longer routes. So prefer shorter, as you can see, just goes through the shortest distance in terms of jumps from point A, where I'm sitting in the main, to point B, where my destination is in Molten Heat. So this is the first option category that you can toy around with. The second one is the avoidance list. So for example, I have Jita on my avoidance list, meaning if I set a route for the autopilot and the autopilot should take me through Jita, then the autopilot is immediately reconfigured if I tap on this checkbox right here, avoid systems on your avoidance list. And what happens is that the autopilot will circumvent jumping into those the systems added onto the avoidance list. So it can be Jita, it can be, I don't know, some systems that you've heard people are camping, such as some specific system in low-sec, like, I don't know, let's say Old Man Star, which is located in the Black Rise, or I don't know, systems in Syndicate. If you know of a gate camp or something similar, you can add those systems. You have intel for your corporation or people in other communities such as Discord or on Reddit. Please be aware, some guys are camping that. You can search for that system, add it to your avoidance list, and take no sweat in going through that area. Now, how to search for, because we've talked about searching systems, how to search for a specific system. So you have that search icon in the lower left corner, and you can search, let's search for Ikami, because it's one of my favorite systems. I don't know, it brings back some old memories from Evoline. So searching for Ikami, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Right now, I think after the last patch, the search function seems to have returned a slightly bit towards the normal side of how the search should function. I think 2 weeks ago, whenever you search for something, there was a delay, or I don't know exactly what happened. No results were found. You had to search for that same system multiple times in order to get something reliable and just select what you wanted. So right now I have the system I've searched for, and it's showing me the system itself and all the stations that can be found in that specific system. So let's go ahead and set destination right here. So there we go. We're going through some the main, the Citadel, and then the Forge, because Ikami is located in the Forge, if you remember from our last video where we actually bought some stuff from Jita and instantly teleported it to Ikami. Okay, so this is how you search for systems. Now, what's wrong with the map itself? Well, taking into consideration that the gate camps have already started and pretty much all over the place, as some specific areas are more preferred, and let's say the map system, the map feature itself is not complete yet. So it's really lacking on some options that you might be using in order to avoid said gate camps. And of course, with sovereignty probably coming soon, we don't know exactly when. Will it be the next expansion or the next big content deployment, or I don't know, maybe in the winter or next year in the spring? Sovereignty is going to come nonetheless, and by then I really hope, if any of the devs are watching, I really hope that we get some good map features to toy around with, because it's going to be really hard pretty soon to navigate across New Eden without them. So the second button in the lower left corner, you see right here, is the star chart settings. Now we've got the geography and statistics, and that's that. There's only 3 options available. You have the security level, which basically shows you if the region, the constellation, or the system itself is, if the region contains some low sec or null sec, is going to be displayed as red or as orange. If you're in a constellation or in a region, if the in a solar system, you'll see the color itself a representative for the security status or security level of that constellation or system itself. that's a pretty okay filter if you want to know exactly where you're going. Now, the second is the stations. The stations show you what region or what constellation or what system has stations inside, and the bigger the red aura is, then the bigger the number of stations are likely to be inside there. So let's go over to the Forge, and we're going to the region map, and there you have it. The more the aura is bigger, the number of stations in that systems is greater. So I'm currently in the Forge, and as you can see, we have this system right here, Itamo, which has a lot of stations. We don't see the number, so that's something that might help us, but it's not something critical. And the third option in the star chart settings inside the filters is the Interstellar Trading Center. So once we tap on that, we're only going to be seeing systems that have an Interstellar Trading Center. All the features that are currently in are good, but it's like in math. It's the a sufficient. No, it's a critical condition, but it's not sufficient to prove something. What are we lacking? Well, I can name at least 3 features that should be introduced into the map. So the first one would be player activity. In EVE Online, we had player activity in the last hour. So we would get an estimated number of pilots that have passed through or are active in that system, or have been active in that system in the last hour or 30 minutes, can't remember exactly. So that's something that we might want to have, definitely want to have, because it can show us which system is actually populated, active, and if that system is like a null-sec or a low-sec, you might want to avoid it. It's pretty obvious. If there's 60 people in that system, they're probably up to no good. So either find a way around or take your chances, but it's up to you. It's an information that is given to you as a player, and you have the option of taking it and do whatever the hell you want with it. But it's information nonetheless. This is what we're lacking in the map system, information. That was the first one. The second one would be having another filter to display the ships that have been blown up in that system in the last 24 hours. Or I think it was the last hour. I can't remember exactly. So if there were pods, people being podded in that system in the last hour, so those are 2 filters additionally that should be in the game, because it shows you what happened to people in those systems. And if the player number, you can actually, you should be able to switch between the filters. So for example, let's go over to the, where is it? Let's say, let's go somewhere in null-sec. Okay, so let's go into Stain. One of my favorite maps for the regions, of course. So this is Stain, and in Stain, let's say for example, this is a choke point. The DSS-EZ is a system connected from Catch, so you're only able to reach this side of the region of Stain only by coming through from Catch and from another system, of course. So how can you tell if there's someone gate camping this, or if they're guarding the choke point and everyone passing through here is just gonna get murdered within seconds? Because that's what happened. That's what happens if you get blobbed by a gate camp. You have no way to react unless you're in a fast ship. You're pretty much dead. Having those 3 filtering options, one to see how many people have been in the system active in the last 30 minutes or the last hour, is going to show you some decent information about this system exactly. If there are people currently camping it, you will see some good numbers. And if you iterate through the other 2 how many ships have been blown up and how many pods have been blown up, then you'll have a pretty clear information about the system itself, and you can decide if it's okay to go through or if it's not okay to go through. So we really, really need information inside the map. Otherwise, the current iteration of the map is just a toy, a pretty simple toy. That's it. It's not serving us very much. The security levels doesn't serve us that much. The station itself, let's say it could help us because we can actually identify which systems have stations in them. And the interstellar trading centers, this is pretty much redundant. Why? Because if we go into the market menu, as I've shown you in our last video, we can go to the nearby trading centers and you will see exactly all the trading centers inside New Eden. This is the complete list of all the ITCs in the game. So why do we have it on maps? Well, let's say probably you want to orientate yourself when you're trying to go around, but the most important 3 features of the map are missing. So please, please, please so much, introduce them and offer us the ability, us players, the ability to gather information and help us in our journey in Eve Echoes. Thank you guys for watching. A very, very big shout out to my channel supporters. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.